everybody, this is Kenneth Fam, and today I'm going to do Who is Jeff Kenny, the Diary of a Wimpy Kid author, and yeah, so when he was younger, he had he was born in, I forgot, but he had an older brother and a older sister. Older brother was named Scott, and the older sister is Anne Marie. That in the book we don't mention anymore. And who is Jeff Kenny's author is Patrick Kenny, which is the younger brother of Jeff Kenny. So wow, oh cool. So anyways, so Wimpy Moments is let's see. Oh, so he sometimes his siblings would pull pranks on him, like when one time Scott played a prank on him, saying that waking up Jeff really early, says get ready for school. You slept through the whole summer break. That happened I think Jeff Kenny put that in the Diary of Wimpy Kid books. I think so. Yeah. So but we're not there. So we're not there yet because it's all the way in the middle to end part of the book. So later, Patrick came along, which is the author of this Who Is book, and Jeff thought Patrick was spoiled, like the character Manny. So when Patrick drew on a door, right, like a door with permanent marker, Jeff thought he was going to get in trouble, but the parents just loved it. They didn't even paint over. Look at that. They didn't even paint over the door, the drawing. It's I think that happened in the Diary of a Wimpy Kid book. And then when they sold the house, the drawing was still there. And then I didn't think Jeff likes it because if he did that, he would have get punished. So I don't know why. So okay. So I forgot some of the parts. Yeah. So Jeff loved reading from his dad. He liked reading these comic strips from his dad because he liked comedy and stuff like that and funny stuff. And when he grew up, he wanted to be a cartoonist, but he had a little trouble. But I'll talk about it later. Okay. So let's go again. So sometimes people thought he would draw good, right? But it's one of his teachers, she didn't. I don't know what she was thinking about, if she liked it or not. But she gave him advice to how to draw better. They didn't mention it, but he indeed drew better. But sometimes, one time at a school talent show or something like that, Jeff and his friends was dressing up in, what was it called again? A bunch of sheets that had been sewn together. They were supposed to be a snake. Mm-hmm. But Mrs. Norton said gently that there's a difference between laughing with you or laughing at you. Mm-hmm. And he understood what she meant. Look at this picture. What is this?
What does it mean, laughing with you, and what laughing at?
Laughing with you is when it's actually funny, but laughing at you is when people what is that? You suck. You're horrible, like that. So yeah, that's the difference. He wasn't sometimes in one day this skill, his humor and his drawings will make the world of Greg Heffley, one of the main character of Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Jeff said that he was never a good athlete or the best student, but he was a good observer. Greg Heffley is not the best student or the best athlete, because Greg Heffley is not that good. He's not that good, but he's still funny. And yeah, so he had a lot of friends and stuff. He observed people, but he hated swim class, like Greg Heffley. And one time in the book, Greg Heffley wrapped himself in toilet paper because it's like 50 degrees in the bathroom. Exactly what happened to Jeff. So basically, all the Heffley family is basically Jeff's family, except for but more like weird and stuff like that, and without the sister. I wonder what the sister thinking about Jeff. I don't know, but Kenny, in college, Kenny was trying to make this. He was working on being a cartoonist or something like that. Let's see here. Yeah, he was a cartoonist called Eggdoof or something like that. What's it called again? Eggdoof. And he made a book called Eggdoof and the Bathroom Champion. He quickly sold every copy at his university, but it wasn't official by like Scholastic and these other bookstores. Yeah. So, but he was like a celebrity at his college because so many people liked his books. It was like a comic strip or something like that, or comics. He made a book called The Bathroom Companion. So, look, at the university bookstore, a lot of people, or some people, wanted his autograph or signed the book. So he's getting to his goal. Well, not a cartoonist, but he's a good writer. So when he graduation, after the graduation, he sold samples of his work to every cartoon syndicate in the country, but they said no. They rejected it. They didn't want to. Sad. But anyways, he played pranks on his coworkers. Like he was acting like a confused customer, like trying to prank them. Like, what's this again? Like, yeah. So this blah 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 blah. Okay. And that's actually Jeff Kenny. Yeah. So, he got a job from Up to Date and stuff like that. And also, what's it called? Oh, whatever. But sometimes after a long day of fun, Jeff said to his little brother, "You pooped?" Sometimes Patrick wouldn't understand if he's really tired, but if he isn't, he said, "No!" And then Jeff just cracks up like. But sadly for, like, when he was about to get married or something, sadly for Jeff and Nicole, their marriage wasn't working so out, good, and they divorced. Well, one divorce for Jeff Kenny. He's still alive. And he was alone again. It wasn't easy. But let's see. Anyways, he wrote down. So if he wanted to do cartooning and stuff, he wrote in his journal. I don't know. He's writing about it. Scribble. But it's cool. Okay. He had a lot of rejection letters from syndicates, and his work needed to look more professional. So he wanted to do, or he got an idea of writing a kid in middle school, and write about it. It's called a Diary of a Wimpy Kid. So it won't look, because it doesn't need to look that good, because it's a diary, and diary is a kid is involved and stuff. So yeah, but it's not an actual diary that Greg Heffley said it was a journal. It's not a diary. Because he's not doing no. He's writing a journal.
So that's the difference?
Yeah.
What's the difference between journal and diary?
Diary is like tells you what happens in the day, and then like short, like dear diary, blah blah blah. Next day, blah blah blah. But in journal, I can show you. Oh. Or like he just talks about funny things or weird things, like what happens in his life. Like he just writes a lot about stuff and what happens in the. Well, it's kind of like a diary, but I think journal is longer or something like that. So so he took like 8 years to write all of it down, or like a couple years. He wanted to make it for adults. Little did he know it was for kids. So he went to a convention and stuff like that. Before that, he made a company called Pearson Education. Well, he didn't create it. He worked with it and stuff like that. But anyways, he made it. He wanted to make it 1,300 page book. As long. It took like so much years. But when at the convention he got his book published, but the guy wanted it to be a children's book with 200 something pages. Let's see. 200 something pages. 217 pages or something like that. Because it's too long. Plus of humor, kids like humor. So basically his whole 1,300 pages were separated into different books. Like this one. Hard Luck.
That's good.
So, about skip. Okay, he got kids into reading. He made a sequel, Project Rules, and then next came Last Straw. I liked it, but people, all these kids used to not like reading until they figured out reading can be fun because of Jeff Kenny. And in school, like New York Times in school said these awesome things about him. Like, look, see, read all these. See, a lot of people like him. So he made a movie in Hollywood. He made movies, or like people wanted to make movies of Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Here's supposed to be Greg Heffley. And that's supposed to be the actor of Raleigh Jefferson, and this is the actor of Greg Heffley, I think. Yeah. So, oops. So, where is it? Okay. So, since the first movie was so good, they went to make Project Rules and Dog Days. The Dog Days one was the 4th book after Last Straw. And then they came up with they made Ugly Truth, this one, Cabin Fever, which is over there, Third Wheel. Well, okay, here. So first book was Diary of a Wimpy Kid. A second book is Project Rules. Third book, Dog Days. No, not Dog Days. Last Straw. Fourth book, Dog Days. Fifth book, Ugly Truth. Sixth book was Cabin Fever. 7th book is Third Wheel. 8th book, Hard Luck. Then, and then I think 9th book is Long Haul. Then the next book is Old School, I think. And the last one is it's called Double Down. Yeah. Double Down. And yeah.
So which book you have read already?
Huh?
Which Wimpy Kids book you read?
Let's see here. I read the original, or the first one. I read Project Rules like a lot. I got bored of. I think I read Last Straw only once. I read Dog Days like a lot because there's no other Diary of a Wimpy Kid book because we didn't return to the library. So I got bored. Like, when are we gonna go to the library so we can get a new one? I read like 5 times until. And then I read Ugly Truth twice, Cabin Fever once, and Third Wheel twice, Hard Luck a couple times, Old School twice, and Double Down once.
So you read almost
And
all
Long
of them.
Haul, like probably twice or 3 times.
What did you like so much about the Wimpy Kids book?
The humor and the funny things.
Like, for example, like what?
Like
Pull out something, like why it's so funny that you think that everyone should
Okay,
read.
let me find it. Hold on. I need to get it. Cabin Fever is good. So like this. In Cabin Fever, they thought the electricity for all houses went out, right? And until Rowley came over, and
Not the whole thing, just pull out one part. That's
yeah,
funny.
there's one part, and said that his house has electricity until they found like the electricity box. I forgot the name of it, and all the rooms of electricity is gone. It's turned off, but there's one room that had electricity, Manny's room. So Guy Kenneth said Manny was probably thinking that it's every man for himself. So they talked to Manny saying like Guy Kenneth said that Manny almost got them killed because it's so cold. The only reason Manny did this is because the dumbest reason ever is no one taught him how to tie his shoes.
Okay.
That's really funny.
Okay.
Like, seriously? So, anyways, he's making money. So, the foreign languages, he has like 45 different languages written, but translation in German edition is Greg's Journal. I'm surrounded by idiots. In Germany, the publisher explained that there is no word for wimpy, and they just changed the name and stuff for some reason. And in Brazil, the title is Daria. I don't know how to say it. Banana. And then he wanted to know what banana means in Brazil, and it means banana. He was told. So, well, he learned something today. Banana means banana. So he sold over 150 million books and his fans worldwide. This is before this book is before Long Haul came out. So the latest one in this book was The Hard Luck. It's pretty cool. Made in 2013. Anyways, he had a lot of money. He's wealthy, I guess. He helped I think people. Hold on. Well, there was a house that was run down and stuff. No one liked it, and he helped the city by making a new house on top of it. So because it made the city look bad, so it was apart. So he remodeled it. Okay, so in 2015 he opened a bookstore called The Nightly Story. Upstairs, like the second one right here, is to have parties and other events. And the top one, this tiny room, is the last floor of the room or the house is Jeff's studio, and sometimes visitors can stop by and look at where he works and stuff. And yeah, so a lot of kids love the book. They love it because the books are awesome. Read it if you want to, if you have spare time, because my mom wouldn't let me read it sometimes, only on my free time.
Okay.
So, meet the author. The author is the last name is Kenny. So, is it a coincidence? No, it's Patrick Kenny, the younger brother of Jeff Kenny, because it says Patrick in the book. It says Patrick Kenny. And he loves hearing Jeff's stories, and and he sometimes reads it in the family basement.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's all for this time. I hope you enjoyed me talking about the story, or who is Jeff Kenny, the author of Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to, you can get it. Sometimes people don't like it. I don't know why, but if you're wondering who is he, just watch my book review or just read the book. So bye.